Something unusual is happening in the AI world right now. The competition is no longer slow or predictable. Almost too fast to track. One AI is becoming more powerful but more expensive. Other is getting cheaper and surprisingly close in intelligence. Both are being used by real developers right now, not just researchers. So the question is no longer hype, it's reality. DeepSeek V4 versus GPT-5. Which AI actually wins in real-world use? Let's break it down step by step. Without marketing, just truth. Talk that changed everything. Pricing war. Start with the part that immediately changes how people think cost. GPT-5 level models are part of the premium AI ecosystem. They deliver extremely high-quality responses, strong reasoning, and excellent reliability. But they come at a price. And that price is not small. Depending on usage, enterprise-level GPT-5 class APIs can cost multiple dollars per million tokens, especially for output-heavy workloads. For large companies running millions of queries daily, this becomes extremely expensive very quickly. Now compare that with DeepSeek V4. This is where things get interesting. DeepSeek enters the market with aggressive pricing that is significantly lower, sometimes 5x to 10x cheaper depending on workload type. That's not a small discount, that's a structural difference. So what does this actually mean in real life? GPT-5 Kelp premium intelligence, premium cost. DeepSeek Kelp's near premium intelligence, extremely low cost. In simple terms, GPT-5 is like hiring a world-class expert consultant. DeepSeek 4 is like hiring a very skilled team at startup cost. Both can solve problems, but budgets decide which one you can actually use at scale. The reason DeepSeek became... Now let's understand why DeepSeek is so cheap, because this is where most people misunderstand the story. Or is built using a mixture of experts architecture. Activating the entire model for every request, it only activates the parts it needs. Like this. 5. 100 specialists working every time. Only 5. 10 specialists working per task. So even though DeepSeek has massive total parameters, only a fraction are used at once. Some versions reportedly scale into trillions of parameters, but only a small subset is active per query, making it extremely efficient. Now combine that with optimized training techniques, inference design, lower cost hardware usage in some deployments, and suddenly a model that performs near top tier level at a fraction of the cost. This is not magic, it's smart engineering. Performance reality check, no marketing talk. Now let's talk about the most important question. Is DeepSeek actually close to GPT-5 in performance? Short answer, yes, in many areas. Long answer, it depends on the task. In real-world use cases like coding assistance, bugging scripts, writing functions, summarizing documents, generating APIs, Base4 performs extremely close to GPT-5 level systems. In fact, many developers report that in day-to-day coding tasks, the difference is not dramatic. But here's where GPT-5 still leads. Deep logical reasoning chains, complex planning agents, high-stakes enterprise workflows, long horizon consistency. App is not smart versus dumb. It's more like GPT-5 tout called highly stable expert brain for complex systems. DeepSeek V4 Towler extremely capable general brain for most tasks. Important. Where GPT-5 still dominates clearly. With competition rising, GPT-5 is still ahead in several critical areas. 1. Multi-step AI agents. When AI needs to plan actions, you remember long context. Execute multiple steps without breaking. GPT-5 is more stable and reliable. 2. Enterprise-level trust. Big companies care about consistency, predictability, compliance. GPT-5 systems are built for that environment. 3. Ecosystem integration. OpenAI models are deeply integrated into developer tools, APIs, coding assistants, enterprise workflows. That ecosystem advantage is massive and not easy to replace. So even if another model is cheaper, switching is not always simple. Where DeepSeek V4 wins clearly, Now let's flip the story. DeepSeek dominates in areas that matter more than people think. 1. Cost at scale. If you are running AI SaaS tools, chatbots, content systems, automation pipelines, cost becomes everything. And here DeepSeek wins by a large margin. Open flexibility. Unlike closed models, DeepSeek allows self-hosting, fine-tuning, local deployment, custom modifications. That means 3. Long context handling. 4. Supports extremely large context windows in some implementations, allowing entire code bases, full books, research papers, large datasets, all in one prompt. 4. Independence. You are not locked into API pricing changes, use limits, vendor restrictions. That freedom is extremely valuable for startups. The real developer reality, what actually matter. Let's ignore benchmarks for a second and talk reality. Developers don't care about charts. They care about, does it solve my problem fast? Does it break my workflow? Does it cost too much? Can I scale it? And here's the honest breakdown. For most daily tasks, around 70%. DeepSeek is more than enough. For advanced tasks, around 20%. GPT-5 is noticeably better. For extreme cases, around 10%. 5 is clearly superior. So in real-world usage, DeepSeek is practically sufficient for most users. GPT-5 is technically best for critical systems. That difference is subtle, but important. The war behind AI models. What's really happening here is bigger than models. It's a business war. Closed AI companies control access, charge premium pricing, optimize for enterprise dominance, build ecosystems, open AI models like DeepSeek, focus on accessibility, reduce cost aggressively, encourage community usage, spread adoption rapidly. So the real conflict is not just intelligence, it's control versus accessibility. And that changes out the future of AI. Practical decision. Which one should you use? Let's simplify it completely. Choose 5 if you need maximum reliability. You are building enterprise systems. You rely on complex AI agents. You want best-in-class reasoning. Choose DeepSeek v4 if you care about cost efficiency. You are building a startup. You want self-hosting control. You handle large-scale AI workloads. But here's the smartest answer. Most professionals will not choose one. They will combine both. GPT-5 for critical thinking tasks, or for scale and cost-heavy operations. That hybrid strategy is becoming the new standard. What this really means, AI is not about intelligence anymore. It's about accessibility. We are entering a world where powerful AI is no longer rare. Cost is becoming the real competition. Open models are catching up faster than expected. Closed models are forced to justify premium pricing. GPT-5 represents the peak of controlled premium intelligence. DeepSeek represents the rise of open, scalable intelligence. And the real winners? Not the models. The users know how to use both strategically, because in 2026 and beyond, AI success is no longer about which model is best. It's about which combination is smartest. Now I want to hear from you. If two AIs give almost the same result for most tasks, would you still pay premium prices for GPT-5? Or would you switch to a cheaper, more flexible system like DeepSeek? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every one. And if you're deep breakdowns like this, subscribe, because the AI race is not slowing down anytime soon. It's just getting started.